All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all the praise and the glory and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rahag Kodash, which has given me the spirit and the strength to do this lesson. And also want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. They rule well and teach well through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Wa Shalom, wa Ba'arakim to the elect, beginning with 144,000, which I scattered abroad and in every place, redeeming the time ready to be saved. Shalom. All right, get right into it. All right, pretty much what I want to touch on in this lesson is how this iniquity in the world is at its peak, right? Is at its peak. You know, iniquity, sin, wickedness is at its peak. Okay? And it's in the scriptures, all right? A matter of fact, you know, when you go back into the days of old, in the time of Noah, all right, in the time of the flood, was it not was not iniquity at its peak? All right, was not iniquity at its peak? You know, well, it's proved that it's getting in the book of Genesis, because I want to make a point here before I move on. All right, Genesis, the 6th chapter. Genesis 6 and 5. All right, this is Genesis 6 and 5. It says, "And the Heavenly Father Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great." That the wickedness of man was great in the earth. All right. You can relate that to these times. All right. You know, wickedness is at on an astronomical level. You know, you have a Pride Month. That didn't used to be so. All right. You know, back in the prior days, man, you know, if you were flying like that, you know, if you was I'm trying to be wise and use my words, not use words that will give me a strike, but you know, LGBTQ, when you was, you know, rocking like that back in the day, you know, in those days, you know, it was you know, they would say they wouldn't be in a closet. All right. It was more discreet. But now it's, you know, it's not only, you know, they're not only open with it, but now it's accepted. All right. Now, when you speak against them, it's considered a hate crime, or you can get locked up for it. For, you know, man, it's so you know, you got wickedness at its height today, just like in the days of old, in the days of Noah. All right, and what did Yahweh Shah say? All right, it shall be as the day it shall even be as the days of Noah. All right? Because it's like a plant. Okay? Yahweh Shema Shai is the husbandman. All right? It's like a plant, man. When the seed is planted in the field, and when it gradually grows, it grows and grows, and then it finally gets to its um, mature stage. When that's when it's harvest time. All right, and it's time to chop it down. Okay, so that's what happened in the days of Noah. All right, wickedness got so great that the Heavenly Father had to, bring the judgment. All right. So I'm read that again in Genesis 6:5. It says, "And the Heavenly Father saw that wickedness of man was great in the earth." That's right. You see that? And that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil. You see? Let me read that again. And that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. All right? Continually. All right? Verse 6, it says, "And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created, from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the earth. For it repenteth me that I have made them." You see? So we have when wickedness gets so great, that's when Yahweh Shema Shai brings his judgment. And it's plainly seen that we are in that time again. You look, wickedness is man. As it is written in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, her sins have reached unto heaven. Talking about Babylon, America. Her sins have reached unto heaven. It's out of control here, man. Right? So Yahweh Shema Shai is getting ready to put an end to this great wickedness, man. Once again, it's like a harvest. The harvest is come. All right. Matter of fact, the Revelation. Revelation 14th chapter. Revelation 14 and 15. "And another angel came out of the temple." Read that again. "And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud." Yeah, Yahweh Shai. This is Yahweh Shai getting that, Yahweh Shai's getting word. Hey, it's time. And we don't know what Yahweh Shai will be doing at that time, but he's gonna get word. He's gonna get that green light, all right, to come down here and do, man. So I'm read that again. Say, "Another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the throne on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap." Let's read that again. "Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap For the harvest of the earth is ripe. You see that? For the harvest of the earth is ripe. You see that? In the 16th verse it says, and he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth. Yeah, he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. That's the nuclear destruction. That's the nuclear destruction. Laser beams, man. Alright? To put away all the iniquity, the sin. Alright? So, we see that this place is out of control, that these people are out of control, man. And look, that's an indication right there that that this judgment is coming. All right. I just read to you in Genesis 6 and 5. All right. The same thing happened in the time of the flood. Heavenly Father, Yahweh brought that flood because wickedness of men was great in the earth. So what you think gonna happen now? See, this time he's not gonna send water, he's gonna send fire. You know, laser beams and the missiles. Okay. I didn't want to make this too long, but I want to, get this out there while I was on my spirit. All right. Let's get the book of Joel. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 12. It says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, all right, which is in the Middle East, all right, Levant. All right, this is where these armies is going to be, what's the word? Deployed to. All right. It says, come. It says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Ooh-wee. It says, verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Right. And the heart is represent iniquity. All right. Iniquity is at its peak. Okay. It says, come, get you down, for the press is full, the fast overflow. See, and it's going to tell you, it says, for the wickedness is great. For the wickedness is great. Now, let's read that again. All right. Let's read that again. It says, Joel chapter 3, verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow. For their wickedness is great. Whoo! You see that? So, Heavenly Father has been long suffering. Just like a husbandman. All right, Salaki. Yeah, Salaki. Yeah, he's being patient as a husbandman, and only just so that wickedness can grow and grow and grow, right? Because you're gonna bring pure hell, holy hell, man. All right, when the harvest is come. All right. So, just to, word, through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, Mount Kashad has reached those that are sincere. Till next time, Shalom.